पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारश्च तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नमः श्री शङ्करानन्द गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलासमहामोह ग्राहग्रासैककर्मणे। The verse says 58. भ्राम्यन्ते पंडितं मन्याः सर्वे लौकिकतैर्पिकाः अनादृत्य श्रुतिं मौर्ख्यात् केवलां युक्तिमाश्रिताः। पूर्वापरपरामर्श विकलास्तत्र केचन वाक्याभासान् स्वस्वपक्षे योजयन्त्यप्यलज्जया। कूटस्थादिशरीरान्त सङ्घातस्यात्मतां जगुः। लौकायताः पामराश्च प्रत्यक्षाभासमाश्रिताः। श्रौतीकर्तुं स्वपक्षन्ते कौशमन्नमयन्तथा। विरोचनस्य सिद्धान्तम् प्रमाणं प्रतिजज्ञिरे। Now it's taken up for discussion the different schools of thought, the different concepts that different people have pertaining to Atma, and there are reasons depending upon what you accept as pramanam or the valid means of knowledge. So vakyabhasan swasvapakshe yojayanti. It's talking about now those people who seem to adopt the Shruti or the Vedas, Upanishads, to suit their convenience. In order to get a verification for their opinions, they employ the Shruti as for their convenience. Meaning that they take passages from the Shruti and quote them in support of their own opinion, the passages that are convenient, which are taken out of context. And so here are the Lokayatikas, the Charvakas, the materialists. Kutasthali Shariranda Sanghatasya Atmatam Javuhu. They say that the Sharira is Atma. Lokayataha Paṃcadaśī. So Lokayatas are philosophers who accept Pratyaksha Ābhāsamashritaha. Those who take Pratyaksham as perception as the only Pramana, and they experience the body to be a conscious being, and therefore that is taken to be Atma. And Paṃcadaśī, those people, particularly this particular opinion is presented and is justified in order to justify Pāmaratvam, Vishayalampadatvam. So these people are people who just are interested in sensuous pleasures, and that can be justified only when you justify that his body is Atma. So they don't have to worry about the previous birth, the next birth, or the existence beyond the birth, and therefore they don't have to worry about what we call Papa and Punya, merit or demerit. They need not worry about anything because they believe only in Pratyaksha in the present, and they don't believe in the next birth. And so these people are also Pāmaraha. Pāmaraha means those people who are only infatuated with the sense objects, and that is why they adopt this kind of philosophy. However, their opinion is that this body is Atma, and that opinion is based on the Pratyaksha, the perception. And in order to justify their opinion, Saraswatiji kartam svapakshante kosham annamayam tatha virochanasya siddhantam pramanam pratijagme. In this body of literature called the Upanishad, you would find statements which apparently seem to say that this body is Atma. Savayesha purusham narasamayaha, says Taittiriya Upanishad says, this Atma is annarasamayaha, meaning it is his gross body which is the modification of food. And so that statement is there, well, they find it very convenient to justify the position that gross body is Atma. Or there is a statement from Virochana which says that this body is Atma. This is what the great grandfather, namely the Pitamaha, the Prajapati has taught us, that this gross body is Atma, and that alone should be worshipped, that alone should be nourished. And the one who does that is happy in this world as well as in the next world. So that kind of a statement also they find, and they quote such passages in support of their opinion or support of the view that this gross body is Atma. In this Charvakas or materialists, there are several schools which are quoted here. So progressively, so there are other people who refute these people, and there are third people who refute the other fellows, and this is how we find one being refuted by the other, and ultimately it leads us towards what we are in fact seeking. So now introducing the verse 62 says, Asmin mate dosha darshana purassaram matantaram utthapayati. Asmin mate dosha darshana, this mata or opinion that the gross body is Atma. Now matantaram, there is another mata or another opinion by another school of the Charvaka or materialists who dismiss these people. So who dismiss the view of these people that the gross body is Atma. So dosha darshana purassaram, showing what is the dosha or the defect involved in this opinion that the gross body is Atma. Matantaram utthapayati. The other opinion, the opinion of other school of materialists is being stated here, showing the defect involved in the thinking of taking the gross body to be Atma. So this is what is said in verse 62. Jivatma nirgame deha maranasya darshanaad dehatirikta evatma ityahur lokayatah pare. So pare lokayataha, the other lokayataha meaning the other materialists, other Charvakas, who, what do they say? Deha atirikta atma. That Atma is Deha atirikta, Atma the self is different from the body. And thus refute the opinion of these people who take the gross body as Atma. Now what is the argument that they present to show that the gross body is not Atma? They say that Jivatma nirgame deha maranasya atra darshanat. we find that when the jiva departs from this gross body, then the gross body is dead. Meaning that there was something which was present in the gross body on account of which the gross body was alive, which when departs from the body, then the body is dead. That shows that there is some factor other than the gross body that keeps it alive. And so, that which is conscious is Atma, no doubt. However, the gross body does not seem to enjoy the consciousness on its own account, but then there is this life which when departs from the gross body, then the gross body is dead, and that shows that gross body cannot be Atma because it is not conscious on it. It is not conscious on its own account. It is conscious on account of that life which was there. So Jivatma Nirgame. Nirgame means departure. So when the Jivatma departs from this body, Atra Dehamanasya Darshanat, we find that the gross body is dead, and therefore gross body cannot be Atma. And that is how they refute the opinion of this other materialist that the gross body is Atma. Then somebody would want to know, Kidrusho Dehatirikta Atma, alright? If you say that Atma is Dehatirikta, it's different from the body. Kidrusha, what's the nature of the Atma which you think that is different from the gross body? Kenava Pramayana Avagamyate. And please tell us, what is the Praman? What's that valid means of knowledge or the authority that you have to justify your opinion that the Atma is different from the gross body? How do you come to know that? Ashankayam aha. If this ashanka, this doubt is there, then the answer is given in the verse 63. Pratyakshatvena bhimata aham dhir dehatirekinam Gamayedindriyatmanam Vachmityadi prayogatah. Well, there also Pratyakshatvena Abhimata Ahandihi Dehatirekinam Atmanam Indriyatmanam Gamayed. So this ahandehi pratyakshatvena abhimata. Ahandehi means the sense of I, the I notion. So we have a direct experience about the self. In what manner? Aham vachmi, aham pashyami. I say that, I talk, I see, I walk, and so on and so forth. So when I identify myself as the one who talks, or one who walks, or one who sees, then ityadi prayogadarsanat. By this kind of a usage or this kind of a transaction or expression, dehatirikta aham buddhigamyani indriyani atma ityasah. So when I say I see, what does it mean? I take myself to be the eyes. When I say that I speak, I take myself to be the speech. When I say I walk, I take myself to be the legs, meaning the organ of action. And this is our direct experience. I see, I hear, I walk, I talk, and so pratyakshatvena abhimata ahandihi. This knowledge of I, ahandihi means that knowledge of which I is the subject. We have a direct experience that I know myself, I find myself to be the one who is walking, talking, eating, etc. And therefore, this experience of I, in dehatirekinam indriyatmanam gamayed, itself makes us arrive at an Atma that is different from the gross body, and that is of the nature of Indriya or sense organs. So we say that the sense organs are the Atma. Both the organs of perception and the organs of action, they are Atma, because we have the direct perception that I am the one who speaks, I am the one who eats, I am the one who walks. And thus this experience enables us to arrive at the Atma who is different from the gross body and who is of the nature of the sense organs. Vachmi ityadi prayogatah. Aham vachmi, I speak. By such prayoga or by such expressions, it is very clear that the sense organs are the Atma. So dehatarikta aham buddhigamyani indriyani atma. These sense organs which are aham buddhigamyani, which become the object of aham buddhi or the I notion, and the sense organs which are different from the gross body, they are the atma. This is what we infer, or this is what we know from our direct experience. Then somebody asked him the question, Nanu indriyanam acetananam katham atmatvam. But the eyes, ears, etc., the sense organs are in fact inert, they are jada. Acetananam, eyes are inert, ears are inert, hands, legs, all of these are inert. Katham atmatvam, how can inert things be atma? Atmamasi is a conscious being, and the sense organs which are inert, how can they be atma? Then, iti ashankya, if this doubt is there, shrutishu indriya samvada shravanat acetanatvam asiddham. Then very interestingly, they say that even the sense organs are also conscious beings. How do you say that? Because we find in many places in the Upanishads that there is a dialogue between the different sense organs. So there is a dialogue, there is in fact a debate among the sense organs as to who is greater. And this kind of dialogue or debate can be there only between conscious beings. Such a debate cannot be between the inner things. And therefore we say that even the sense organs are conscious and therefore they are Atma. So, Shrutishu Indriya Samvada Shravanat. So we find that Shruti talks about the Samvada or the dialogue among the sense organs. Acetanatvam asiddham. Therefore, you cannot say that the sense organs such as eyes, ears, etc. are acetana or inert. And that is said in the verse 64. Vagadinam indriyanam kalaha shrutishu shrutaha tena chaitanyame atmatvam tata evahi. Vagadinam indriyanam kalaha shrutishu shrutaha. Shrutaha shrutya pratipaditaha. Shrutishu in the Upanishad we find that there is a kalaha or a quarrel. Vagadinam indriyanam, among the sense organs beginning from speech, there is a quarrel among these sense organs. This is what we find in Shruti or the Upanishad. Tena chaitanyam edesham, and therefore these are chaitanya, chaitanas, meaning the sense organs are to be taken as conscious things, conscious entities, not inert entities, because among inert entities there cannot be a quarrel. Only conscious things can quarrel among one another, and so we say that the sense organs are conscious entities. It's interesting, in Chandogya Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, in many places, we find this dialogue among the sense organs. For example, Chandogya Upanishad here says, Asaha pranaha aham shreyasi vyudire aham shreyanasmi iti. Then all these pranas, meaning the sense organs, aham shreyasi vyudire. In order to establish their own supremacy, each one of these sense organs was vying for the Shrestata or supremacy. And so it seems that once there was a dialogue which resulted into a quarrel among the sense organs, wherein each one of them claimed their supremacy. Aham shreyanasmi iti. Each one of them said, I am superior. Even when this kind of a quarrel was there, and this kind of a disagreement was there, then in order to settle this disagreement, in order to come to a judgment or conclusion, all of them went to Prajapati, the creator, who has created them, and therefore all of them went to Prajapati. Teha pranaha Prajapatim pitaram etya uchuhu Bhagavan kona shrestha iti. Teha pranaha, all these pranaha, that the word prana is used for sense organs. So all these sense organs, Prajapatim pitaram etya uchuhu, they approached Prajapati and then asked Prajapati, Bhagavan Kona Shrestha iti. Oh dear sir, please tell us which among us is Shrestha, is the supreme or is the best among, most exalted among us. Who is the one? Tan hovacha yasmin utkrante shariram papishthataram yadrishyeda sarah Shrestha iti. Then Prajapati told them that yasmin vaha utkrante. So, which among you, when departs from the body, shariram paspishthataram eva drishyeta. Then, by departure of which one of you, the sharira, the gross body, becomes the papishthataram. Certainly, when a sense organ departs from this body, the body is going to be defective. But then, by the departure of which one of you, the gross body becomes most incapable. So, that which makes this gross body most incapable, well, we would say that is the best. That shows that you are in fact imparting the greatest ability to this body. And therefore, by our departure, it will be determined, so by whose departure makes this body most miserable, that would be the superior one. Saha vaha Shrestha, he among you would be Shrestha, most exalted one. This was the test given by Prajapati. Then Prajapati thus said, Sahavag Uchchakrama. Then first the speech said, okay, let me see what you fellows can do without me. Sahavag Uchchakrama. The speech first departed from this body. Sa samvatsaram proshya paryetya uvacha. For 1 year, the speech organ of speech remained away from this body. And then, proshya paryetya uvacha, it returned and found that this body was functioning as before, almost as before. And therefore, uvacha asked, Katham ashakada ruto majjivitumiti. And the speech asked all this rest of them, how were you able to continue alive without me? Then the rest of the complex, the Sanghata replied, Yatha akalaha avadantaha pranantaha pranena pasyantah chakshusha shrunvantah shrotrena dhyanantah manasa evamiti evam eva iti praviveshaha vak. So the rest of them said, well, Yatha akalaha, just as mute people, avadantaha. So they just as mute people who are not able to speak, however, pranena pranantaha, those who continue to breathe on account of the prana being there, pasyantah chakshusha, they continue to see on account of the eyes being there, shrunvantah shrotrena, they continue to hear on account of the ears being there, dhyanantah manasa, and they continue to think because the mind is there. So we also continue like a mute person. So in your absence, we continue our existence in this manner. Then the organ of speech recognized that this body can continue even without it also, praviveshaha vak, and therefore the speech entered in its place. Chakshurha utchakrama. Then the eyes said, okay, let me see what you can do without me. In this manner, eyes also departed. As the speech is back, eyes now departed from this body. For 1 year, eyes went away, and after a tour, returned to this body. Found that this person was functioning, was alive, and so asked, how come you were able to continue all this vyavahara of the life without me? So yatha andaha apashyantaha pranantaha pranena vadantaha vacha shrunvantah shrotrena dhyanantah manasa evam eva iti. He says, well, no problem. Just as a blind person continues to breathe because he has prana, continues to speak because he has speech, continues to hear because he has ears, continues to think because he has mind, so also we continued in absence. Then eyes recognize that, well, after all, this body can continue without them also. And then ears also departed, and a similar reply was, they also went away for 1 year, and they returned here. So faculty of hearing returned, and then found that again this person was continuing, and asked, how did you continue in my absence? Same thing. Just as a deaf person continues to see because of the eyes, to breathe because of the prana, to hear, to think because of the mind, and so also we continue in absence. And finally, the mind departed. Well, mind also went away for 1 year and returned and found that this jiva, the individual, was continuing to function. Say, how did you continue in my absence? He says, well, yatha balaha, just as children, meaning mindless people. It's possible to lead a life without the mind also. So just as the stupid people continue to see, continue to hear, continue to think, not think, continue to breathe. In this manner, we also continued. Then mind also returned, realizing that after all, these things can function without that also. Then all these, when one by one you imagine that all the organs of action, a perception, and all the organs of action left one by one, and they returned. Finally, asaha prana uchikramshan. Then this prana, meaning the main prana, so here the life force, the vital force, uchikramshan, he desired to leave. He did not even depart from here, he just desired to depart. And the prana was rising. Yatha suhayah padvish shankun sankhyadet evam itaran pranam samakhiddat. So, this is what happened. Just as a powerful horse, which is tied to those nails, and just as a powerful horse, when it wants to run, what it does, it pulls all those four nails, it is tied to a post, it pulls it out and then runs. Similarly also, when prana started to depart from its body, all the rest of the sense organs found themselves being pulled away from the roots, and they also found themselves departing along with prana. Then they realized that they were all dependent upon prana. When prana, the vital force, is there, then alone the sense organs can continue to function, and when that goes away, this body of the sense organs cannot continue to function. And therefore, all of this, so abhisametya uchuhu bhagavan eji tvam nah shreshtosi ma utramihiti. And all the sense organs pray to him, please don't depart from here, we recognize that you are the most exalted among us. This is a story. And similar story is found in Brihadaranyaka as well as in Prashnopanishad, essentially to establish the supremacy of prana. So these stories are told in the context of prana upasana, meditation upon prana or the vital energy. So we find that in the Upanishads, the most predominant upasana or meditation is on prana, on this vital energy. And prana becomes the upasya vishaya, an object of meditation only when it is exalted. So one will want to meditate on something which is exalted, and therefore the supremacy of prana is first established by such stories, such anecdotes, and thus when the supremacy of prana is established in my mind, then I meditate on prana. So prana means Hiranyagarbha. So in this context, this kind of a kalaha or a quarrel among the sense organs has been reported in the Shrutis, and this is what is referred to in this verse. Vagadinam indriyanam kalaha shrutishu shrutaha. You find in the Upanishad there is a kalaha or quarrel among these sense organs. Tena chaitanyam etesham. And therefore it is proven that the sense organs of action, the sense organs of perception are conscious entities, because unless they are conscious, there is no way that they could talk or quarrel among one another. And chetanatvasyeva atmalakshanatvat. So who is Atma? Atma is always the conscious being. And it has been proven here that the sense organs are conscious entities. Chetananam indriyanam atmatvam uchitam. And therefore, it is quite proper to say that the sense organs which are established to be conscious entities, they must be Atma. So this verse says, Atmatvam tataha evahi tataha. On account of that, on account of the fact that the sense organs are conscious entities, therefore Atmatvam, they are Atma. This is how they refute the first fellow who says the gross body is Atma, he is dismissed, and the other fellow establishes that the sense organs are Atma. Of course, there are other people who dismiss these fellows. He says, alright, please tell us, when you say that sense organs are Atma, does it mean that all the sense organs, the complex, all the sense organs, the group of them together is Atma, or each one of them is Atma? If the whole group of sense organs is Atma, then what would happen? If one of them departs, then the body should die, because in the aggregate of sense organs, if it is considered to be Atma, then suppose the eyes or ears or one of the organs of action or perception is not there, then the person should die. But that does not happen. That shows that the aggregate of sense organs is not Atma. Because without the ears, without the eyes also, we continue to function. Alright, are you trying to say that individually each one of them is Atma? Then in this particular complex there is so many Atmas. And one Atma will wish to do one thing, other Atma will wish to do something opposite, in which case this body cannot survive even for a minute. And so there cannot be more than one Atma in the same upadhi, because there can never be an agreement, and therefore the body can never last. So you cannot say that sense organs individually are Atma, nor can you say that the aggregate of sense organs is Atma, and therefore that sense organs is Atma just does not make sense. And therefore the other people, other Charvakas again, they present another matam or another opinion. So matantaram utthapayitum, in order to present another opinion, is the verse 65. Hairanyagarbhah pranatma vadinastveva muchire chakshuradyakshalopepi प्राणसत्त्वेतु जीवते. हैरण्यगर्भाः प्राणात्मवादिनः तु एवं उच्यते. प्राणात्मवादिनः, वादिनः the contenders. Pranatma, those who take prana as atma. So those contenders who take the very prana, prana means the vital energy. So this prana is his breath, of which alone the modifications are the apana, vyana, udana, samana, etc. So the combination of all of them is called prana or mukhya prana. So this vital energy, so those people who meditate upon prana, and the totality of this prana is called hiranyagarbha. At the individual level, the vital energy is called prana, and the totality of all the prana, all the living beings is called hiranyagarbha. So those who meditate on hiranyagarbha, they are called hairanyagarbhaha. So those who accept hiranyagarbha as atma are called hairanyagarbhaha. Pranatmavadinaha, those who contend that prana is atma. They evam uchare, they however have this to say. What do they have to say? Prana says chakshuradi akshalopepi. Now they are arguing against those other people who claim the sense organs to be Atma. This Pranatmavadis have to say this, Chakshuradi Akshalopepi. Aksha means Indriya, the sense organs. So Chakshuradi Akshalope. Even when there is lopa, or there is departure, or dying, or absence of such sense organs, Chakshu, etc., eye, etc., Jivati, the person continues to live. Even when the sense organ departs, the person does not die. And that shows that the sense organ cannot be said to be Atma. Because person is alive as long as prana is there. In fact, as the Upanishads describes the process of death, one by one all the sense organs depart, in fact. First the speech goes away, and then the organs of perception also go away, and thus sense organs depart one by one. And even then the breathing continues. So person is supposed to consider to be dead only when the breathing also stops. But we find that the person continues to be alive as long as breathing is there. Prana sattvetu jivati. As long as prana or breathing is there, so long the person continues to be alive, and therefore we say that it is prana which is Atma. So on account of the factor which remains here, the person is alive, and which factor when departs, the person is dead. That should be Atma. And sense organs cannot be Atma in this sense, because even when the sense organs are not functioning, the person continues to be alive as long as the breathing or the prana continues, and we find that once the pranas depart from here, well, the person also is dead, and therefore prana is the Atma. Alright, now again these people, in order to support their contention, they quote the passages from Shruti. So Dehatmavadis, the people who take the gross body to be Atma, also quoted a passage, Savaesha Purusho Narasamaya, that this Atma is the body, such passage was quoted. Those people who contended that the sense organs are Atma, they also quoted the passage which describes the kalaha, the quarrel among the sense organs, thereby showing that the sense organs are conscious beings. Now these people who say that prana is Atma also quote passages from Upanishad. So pranasya atmatve shrautalingani darshayati. Shrautalingani, lingam is evidence from the Shruti, is being shown to establish that prana, the vital energy, is Atma. And that is being done in the verse 66. Prano jagarti suptepi pranashrayishthyadikam shrutam koshas pranamayasya vistareణ prapanchitah. This prana jagarti supteyapi. Supteyapi, when this person is asleep, meaning when his sense organs are all sleeping, they are not functioning. In the deep sleep, even when the mind is not functioning, at that time also prana jagarti. This is our experience. That in deep sleep, when one is not aware of the sense organs, one is not aware of the mind, so when those things are not functioning, then also prana jagarti. The prana, the vital air, continues to be awake. That's one linga, one evidence to show that prana is Atma. Prana saishthyadikam shrutam. Also we find the Shruti such statements which illustrate the saishthyadikam, that prana is jyeshtaha, shreshtaha. Jyeshtaha means eldest, shreshtaha means the best. So prana is the eldest, prana is the best. So all of this is very clearly expounded in the Shruti. And therefore also we say that prana is Atma. Then koshaha pranamayaha samyak vistarena prapanchitah. And the third reason why we say that prana or the vital energy is Atma is because pranamayaha koshaha vistarena samyak prapanchitah. So in Upanishad, such as Taittiriya Upanishad, we find that this pranamayaha koshaha, the sheath which is called pranamaya, is vistarena, in detail, prapanchitah, expounded. So the Upanishad also expounds in detail this pranamaya koshaha, and therefore also we say that prana is Atma. So different Shrutilingani, Shrautalingani, these three different evidences are stated here from the Shruti to show that prana is Atma. As Tikakara says here, pranadayaheva etasmin pure jagrati ityadina pranajagaram shruyate. Prashnopanishad describes this, that pranadayaheva etasmin pure jagrati. When this person is sleeping, then asmin pure, in the city of the body, who is the one who is alive and protecting the body? Pranadayaheva. All these pranas, beginning from prana means pranapana, all of these pranas alone are alive, awake, when the rest of the faculties are all sleeping, and they are the ones who protect this body. And so very beautifully Prashnopanishad describes as though these pranas are performing a beautiful Agnihotra karma. So Agnihotra karma is being performed, so pranas are performing Agnihotra karma. In this manner, the description is given there. And that shows that pranas are alive even when the rest of the faculties are not functioning, so prana is Atma. So ityadina pranajagaram shruyate. Secondly, tat prane prapanne udatishtat tat uktham abhavat tad etat uktham iti pranasya shreshthyaadikam shruyate. See the footnote number 1. Tat prane prapanne udatishtat. Why is tat? Says here, indriya ganaha sushupta ulina san jagrate pranat udatishtat. So when a person is in deep sleep, then all the sense organs, the whole group of sense organs, sushupta ulina san, in the deep sleep, these organs of perception as well as organs of action are linaha, all of them are merged into their own causes. Jagarate pranat udadishtat. The effect always merges into the cause. And so what continues to remain when the effect is gone is called the cause. For example, the pot is the effect, and when the pot is destroyed, then what continues to remain is clay. Therefore we say that the clay is the cause and the pot is the effect. So wherever a thing merges is called its cause. Just as the pot merges into clay, the ornaments merge into gold, and therefore we say that the gold is the cause of ornaments. So the ornaments merge into gold and again arise from the gold. Similarly also in deep sleep, all the sense organs, they are all merged because they are not functioning. At that time, what is awake? The pranas are all awake. That shows that the sense organs have all merged into prana. And now when you wake up, sense organs again start functioning, and so where has they arisen from? From the prana which is awake. So it says Indriya Ganaha Sushupta Lina San. This whole group of sense organs which was Lina merged in the deep sleep. Jagarate pranat udadishtat. When the person was awake, then all the sense organs, the group of sense organs again arose from the prana. Which had merged into prana, again arose from prana. Uttishtadi indriyagana yasmad taduktham. And therefore prana is called uktham. Uktham means deha utthana karanam. So uttishtadi indriyagana yasmad taduktham. That from which all the sense organs arise is called uktham. Tasmat pranasya uktham shreshtamiti sanyayati bhavaha. And therefore prana is called uktham. In Chandogya Upanishad, when there is upasana or meditation with reference to Sama mantras, uktham. So this prana is also called uktham. Uktham means uttishtadi yasmad taduktham. Inasmuch as all the sense organs arise from the prana, they merge into prana, therefore prana is that from which the sense organs arise, therefore prana is called uktham, and therefore he is shrestha, because that uktham means shreshtamiti sanya. Therefore prana gets the sanya of the name shrestha, meaning the superior or the supreme. And so there the tika says tat prane prapanne udatishtat tat uktham abhavat. Since all these organs or sense organs arose from the prana, therefore that prana is called uktham. Tastadetad ukthamidi pranasya shreshthadikam shruyate. And therefore from the Shruti we find the shreshthadikam, that prana is supreme or the most exalted among the body, among the sense organs, and therefore also he is fit to be called Atma. Because Atma must be Shrestha. So different lingas are given. First of all, that which is sentient is Atma, the gross body is Atma, but that must be Chetana, the conscious must be Atma, so sense organs are Atma, but the one who is supreme must be Atma, therefore Prana is Atma. And then also further, Anyantara Atma Pranamah Ityadana Pranamah Koshaha Prapanchitaha. In Taittiriya Upanishad talks about the first the Annamaya Koshaha, and says Tasmadva Etasmad Annamayat Anyantara Atma Pranamaya. So as compared to this gross body, there is something that is inside, interior, something that keeps this gross body alive. That on account of which the gross body is called Atma. So that is even the Atma of the gross body, and that is Prana. So Atma is that on account of which a thing is alive. Atma is that which is inside, which is superior, which is controller. So it is the Prana which controls the gross body. Prana is interior with reference to gross body. And therefore Prana is said to be Atma. And thus Taittiriya Upanishad also says that it is Prana which is the Atma. So, Shaisthadikam Sutam Adi Shabdena Prana Samvada Praveshadikam Grahyam. And Adi Ityadina Pranamaya Kosha Prapanchita. Ityadi means what? Prana Samvada, all this Samvada, the dialogue among the sense organs, and Praveshadikam Grahyam. They went away, they entered, and so on and so forth. All in the Prashna Upanishad also we find that the Prana enters the body. So all of that also indicates that Prana is Atma. So these people who have this opinion that prana or the vital energy of Atma, they present all these different arguments in support of that contention. Well, there are yet other people who dismiss this view and present their own view. Says the next verse, Pranadapi antarasya manasah atmatvavadinah matam darshayati. But there is something which is even interior or subtler than prana. There is something that controls the prana, something that is atma of the prana, and that is the mind, manaha. Pranadapi antarasya manasah, or the mind that is interior or internal with reference to even prana, atmatvavadinah matam darshayati. There is a person who has the mata that mind is the atma, and that opinion is presented here. So manasah, mana atmeti manyante upasana parajana pranasya bhoktruta spashta bhoktrutvam manasastataha. Manah atma iti upasana paraha janaha manyante. Well, there were Hiranyagarbha, those people who are the meditators on Hiranyagarbha, the total vitality. There are others who meditate upon the mind as Brahman. Mano Brahma iti vijanat. So may you take mind as Brahman. So this is upasana. That manah, mind itself, is Brahman. And therefore look upon mind as Brahman. This upasana on meditation also is recommended in Upanishads. And Mano Brahmeti Vijanati, he discovered the mind as Brahman. So this upasana paraha janaha. So these other people who are devoted to the meditation upon the mind as Atma, manaha Atma iti manyante, they take the mind to be Atma. Why is it so? Because they say that Atma is Bhokta or experiencer. So not only Atma is a conscious being, not only Atma is the one on account of which everything is alive, but at the same time Atma or the self is experiencer. I find myself experiencing variety of objects, gaining variety of experiences in life. And who is that experiencer? That experiencer is someone who is superior to even the prana. Because for gaining various experiences, we direct the prana and the sense organs to perform different actions, and they present different experiences before us, and therefore the experiencer is even superior to the prana. And so mind which is experiencer, the bhoktru, that alone should be properly called Atma. Pranasya anatmatva yuktimaha. How do you say that prana is anatma or not Atma? For that the yukti or the reasoning is being stated here. Pranasya abhoktruta spashta. It is very well known that prana is not a bhokta. Bhoktrutvam manasah tataha. And therefore, who is the bhokta, the enjoyer, the experiencer, is the mind. Prana does not experience anything. If prana is always presented as something that is jada. They say, as Vivekachudamani says, if prana were the Atma, if prana were a conscious entity, then when a person is in deep sleep, then also his breathing continues. And if that prana were the Atma, then suppose a thief comes or something like that, these pranas which are alive and which are awake, they don't say a word. And that shows that they don't have life at all. And therefore, pranas are inert. And they do not have bhoktrutvam, they do not have enjoyership. Pranas do not have enjoyership. It is the mind which has enjoyership, and therefore mind is Atma. So manasah bhoktrutvam, and therefore mind is Atma. Manasah atmatve yukti pratipadikam shruti. Then they have to also quote, everybody has to quote the statements from Upanishad to justify their opinion. So manasah atmatve, in order to show that the mind is Atma, yukti pratipadikam shrutim. That shruti doesn't directly say that mind is Atma. However, Shruti provides a yukti by which we say that the mind is Atma. So, yukti pratipadikam Shruti. It is statement of Upanishad also. At the same time, it gives a yukti or a reasoning why the mind is Atma. And that is quoted in verse 68. मन एव मनुष्याणाम् कारणं बन्धमोक्षयोः श्रुतो मनोमयः कोशः तेनात्मेतीरितं मनः. Famous statement, मन एव मनुष्याणाम कारणम बंध मोक्षयोः. मनुष्याणाम बंध मोक्षयोः कारणम मनः एव. The karanam, the cause, bandha mokshayoho, for bondage as well as liberation, manushyanam, of the human beings, is what? Manah eva. It is mind alone which is the cause for the bondage as well as liberation. Therefore, this is yukti. Therefore, the mind is a self. Why? Because who is bound? Manushya is the one, the human being is the one who is in bondage. And this one says that mind alone is the cause of bondage. And I find myself bound, and therefore I am the mind. And then I find myself liberated when knowledge takes place. This one says that mind alone is responsible for the moksha or liberation also. And therefore, since man finds himself bound and liberated, and it is the mind on account of which one is bound and liberated, therefore the mind is Atma. This is yukti. This is the reasoning of tarka that mind is Atma, because mind alone is responsible for bondage and liberation, and therefore person who is liberated and bound or liberated is in fact mind alone. That's one Shruti. Another Shrutah Manomayah Koshah, and also Manomayah Koshah Shrutah. In Taittiriya Upanishad we find that there is such a thing called Manomaya Koshah. Taittiriya Upanishad presents the mind as Atma. Tasmad va etasmad pranamayat anyontar atma manomayaheti shrutyantaram darshayati. Tasmad va etasmad pranamayat. As compared to this prana, anyah antarah atma manomayah. There is someone other than prana, and antara, someone who is superior to or subtler than the prana. Anyah and antara. So pranamaya anyah means different from the prana. Pranamaya antara means interior or subtler as compared to the prana. So we find that it is the mind which in fact controls the activities. When the mind directs the prana, then alone the activities of the sense organs take place. And so mind is the controller of the prana. At the same time, mind is interior to the prana. Mind is subtler than the prana. And therefore, it is the mind which should properly be called Atma. And also, Atma, as we know, is Bhokta or enjoyer. And prana cannot be the enjoyer. And therefore also, it is the mind that must properly be said to be Atma. That mantra, Manaya Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayoho Bandhaya Vishayasaktam Mukte Nirvishayam Smritam. That's the idea there. He says it is the mind which is the cause for bondage and liberation of these human beings. Which kind of a mind is the cause of bondage and which kind of a mind is cause of liberation? Bandhaya Vishayasaktam. That mind which is Vishayasaktam, that which is infatuated or fascinated with the sense objects, that mind which is attachment to the sense objects, that mind becomes the cause of the bondage. Muktya Nirvishayam Smritam. On the other hand, the mind which is Nirvishayam, which is free from any thoughts of sense objects, meaning that which is free from any dependence or attachment to sense objects, mukti smritam, that becomes the very means for mukti, liberation. Mind is neither bondage nor liberation. The mind becomes the cause. When the mind is extrovert, attached to the sense objects, well then it becomes the cause of bondage, obviously, because it keeps this man all the time running after the sense of pleasures, and thus makes him perform variety of actions, makes him gain different experiences, From that again arise raga, dveshas and other desires, from again other actions, and thus mind always perpetuates the quest for happiness through the sense objects and keeps this person all the time seeking happiness, seeking pleasure, and thus this whole sequence of life and death continues. When the very same mind, which becomes nirvishayam, and so kaschid dhiraha pratyagaatmanamekshit avrutta chakshuhu amrutatvam icchan, some wise person, avrutta chakshuhu, when he withdraws his sense organs, amrutatvam icchan, because he is desirous of immortality, he realizes that all the experiences that he gains are all mortal, meaning all of them are limited in time and transient, and the one who is desirous of the immortality, he withdraws his sense perception, meaning he withdraws his attention from the world and then directs the attention towards the self, and he discovers the self as immortal. So that mind, which is nirvishayam, which is withdrawn from the sense organs, that becomes the very cause of liberation. So from this standpoint, in fact, Shruti says that mind is the cause for bondage as well as liberation. That doesn't mean that Atma is a mind. Shruti doesn't directly say that. However, this statement is quoted to justify their views that the mind is a self. Okay, now comes a discussion of the Vijnanavada. I think that we can take up tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.